YouTube. We got the man B-Ball explained. Shout out to him. Let's get right to it. Every cursed NBA player explained in 30 minutes.
Paul. It's like the playoffs have a personal vendetta against him. The guy stays healthy during the long regular season grind, then the postseason hits, and his body just taps out. In 2015, it started with a hamstring strain. 2 years later, a broken hand at the worst possible time. Then 2018 came along. He hurt the same hamstring again, with the Rockets a win away from the finals. That pattern just won't quit. By the time he got to the Suns, it was a shoulder contusion, then groin tightness in back-to-back years. This isn't a one-off. It's a sequence that makes you think someone stuck a voodoo doll in his locker. And then there's the blown leads. He's the only player in league history to lose 4 series after going up 2-0. That includes the 20.
Nah, that's insane. I ain't gonna lie. That's an insane stat. The only player to lose a series, only player to lose 4 series up 2-0. That's insane.
2021 finals. Just frustrating. The whole thing has built a reputation that sticks, and fans haven't missed it. It's not just bad luck. At this point, it feels like he's playing under a dark cloud. Joel Embiid. This guy's career looks like it was scripted by someone who hates knees. He missed his first 2 seasons with a broken foot, then tore his meniscus after 31 games in year 3. By 23, he'd already racked up more missed games than some players do in a decade. Then came 2019. Kawhi hit that insane quadruple bounce dagger, while Embiid was playing through knee tendonitis and stomach issues. Toronto won the title. That shot goes the other way. Maybe the Sixers take it all. Fast forward to 2021, he tears his right meniscus mid-playoffs, keeps playing, carries them past Washington, then they collapse against Atlanta. Simmons vanishes offensively, and Embiid has 8 turnovers in the Game 7 loss. 2022, a thumb injury and an orbital fracture back-to-back. Misses 2 games against Miami, Sixers losing 6.
This man, I ain't gonna lie, as much as he's going through the Joel Embiid history and him getting hurt, when he is on the court and able to play, he's insane, bro. I still remember that Kevin Durant clip when that man was like, he scored 70? Yes, bro.
2023, he wins MVP, sprains his LCL, and disappears again in a Game 7 blowout. His star teammates, Butler, Simmons, Harden, either leave or crumble. And just when things might change, 2024 delivers another meniscus tear. One playoff run after another, it all unravels. No conference finals, no stability, just injury, drama, and blown chances. Derrick Rose. His game was pure speed and power, but that style put him in the defense's crosshairs, and his own knees paid the price. He tore his ACL in the playoffs in 2012 while leading the game in every category. That injury ended his MVP reign and kept him out for an entire year. When he came back, the other knee gave out with a torn meniscus in 2013.
Damn.
He returned again in 2015. Same knee, another tear. Then in 2017, the left knee broke down again. It was a cycle that crushed any shot at consistency. And it wasn't just the knees, his whole body joined in. Groin, back, ankle, toe. If you name a joint, it probably quit on him at some point. The timing was brutal too. Always right when things were starting to look up. He only had 3 fully healthy seasons out of 16. By the time he retired in 2024, fans had stopped asking what he could do and started mourning what he couldn't. Every comeback felt like hope. Every injury felt like a punch. A career that once screamed greatness turned into a slow fade, shadowed by what could have been. By the way, if you guys want to subscribe, I'm going to be posting every day. Thanks. Anyways, Elgin Baylor. He joined the league and immediately carried a collapsing franchise, averaging 25 points and 15 rebounds as a rookie. But despite his heroics, the Lakers were a revolving door of roster issues and bad management. Then came the endless finals losses. 8 trips, 8 defeats, 7 of them at the hands of Boston. In 1962, he dropped 61.
Imagine losing to the same team 7 times. Boy, that makes you make some pure hatred for them. Whew.
In a finals game, still the record, but the series ended with a missed buzzer beater in Game 7 overtime. It didn't help that Baylor spent part of his prime flying from military base to NBA arenas on weekends. He still averaged 38 points in that playoff run.
Wow.
Imagine what he might have done with practice and rest. After that, injuries took over. A major knee.
Wait, this man was in the military and then he went to go play in the NBA on the weekend? Oh, he got it. He got it. Elgin Baylor's top 10. What is we talking about? Solidify it right now. Elgin Baylor is top 10. Bro, he was in the military, gang. And then he went to go hoop you niggas up and drop 40. He got it.
Knee injury in 1965 wrecked his explosiveness. He still
He
put
was out here, light you up, and then light you up. Literally, shots.
up 20 a night, but he wasn't the same monster. And just to twist the knife, he retired 9 games before the Lakers finally won it all in 1972. After
Gang, how do you retire before the team wins the chip? You could have had the chip. You deserve the chip. He deserves a ring. They should have shipped him a ring no matter what. I don't give a fuck if he wasn't on the team. He deserves the ring. Period, bro. That's insane.
he retired 9 games before the Lakers finally won it all in 1972. After
9
carrying them for
games?
12 seasons, he missed the one ring by weeks. No
They gave
MVPs,
him-
no
they had to
titles,
give him
overshadowed by
something.
teammates and rivals. His greatness always got buried under all the bad timing. Patrick Ewing. He had the size, the stats, the star.
I won't bury Elgin Baylor's career no more. I'll put him in my top 10. If somebody asks me why Elgin Baylor's in my top 10 now, I will give them my explanation why, and I want to ask them, name another NBA player that did it like him. Period.
Just not the timing.
Who do you
Even
know that
early in
went
his
to the
career,
military and then
ankle
played in the
injuries took
NBA
the
and
edge
dropped
off his
40?
explosiveness. Then in 1997, he tore wrist ligaments and needed surgery, missing the rest of that season. And just when the Knicks made their shocking finals run in 1999,
He got hurt.
Ewing tore his Achilles in warm-ups. He tried to play
In
through it for a game,
warm-ups?
but that was it. He missed the entire finals, and New York
Tough.
lost. That stretch gave rise to the infamous Ewing theory, the idea that the Knicks were actually better without him. It stuck because in the playoffs without him, they went further. But it's not just that. In
How'd they go further? Did they win a championship? I'm confused.
1994, they made the finals, but lost in 5. And in the
Oh, okay. You lost again. Was that because of Patrick Ewing? Oh, okay.
1992 playoffs, he was playing through another ankle injury when they got knocked out by Chicago. The pattern's obvious. His biggest injuries always hit, just as the Knicks looked ready to break through. He was an 11-time All-Star, a Hall of Famer, a franchise pillar, but the rings never came. The guy did everything right, but fate showed up with a clipboard and crossed out champ Tracy McGrady. He started his career sitting, stuck behind veterans in Toronto, while Vince Carter exploded. By the time he broke out, the team was Carter's.
That's his
So
cousin.
McGrady left in 2000, and the Raptors immediately made a playoff run without him. Then came Orlando, where he won 2 scoring titles but got 0 help. Grant Hill barely played, and the rest of the roster couldn't hold water. In 2003, he joked about making the second round after going up 3-1 on Detroit. Detroit won 3 straight, and McGrady
T-back. That's one thing you don't do is don't talk when you, like Lucas say, everybody laugh when they up. Don't talk when you up. Ooh, wait. It was up. He was talking about going to the second round, and they said Detroit locked in and beat him.
never forgot it. Houston
Nasty
looked like a
work.
fix, pairing him with Yao Ming, but both guys kept getting hurt. Across 4 years, they only played 4 playoff games together. They blew leads to Dallas and Utah. In 2008, he
Nasty
led the
work.
team on a 22-game win streak, but Yao broke his foot before the playoffs. First round exit. Then in 2009, McGrady had surgery and watched from the bench as Houston finally made it to the second round. Later, he joined the Spurs, but never played a minute in their finals
Never
run.
played
They
a
lost in
minute.
7. He had the skill, but the timing was a disaster. Damian Lillard. In March 2025,
Dame
he was
died.
sidelined by deep vein thrombosis in his calf,
Yeah, that
an
was
issue
tough.
rare enough to raise red flags by itself. Then just weeks later, he tore his left Achilles in the first quarter of Game 4 against Indiana. No contact, just bad luck. That ended his postseason right when things were heating up. The timing couldn't have been worse. It was brutal. Recover from a blood clot, only to snap the tendon that ends playoff dreams. And here's the kicker, he's not alone. Tyrese Halliburton and Jason Tatum also tore their Achilles in the same postseason, all while wearing jersey number 0. Fans are calling it the Zero Curse. But Lillard's misfortune didn't start there. In 2021, he dropped 55 in a playoff game and still lost. Back in 2014, he played through separated ribs during a sweep. Add all that to the recent injuries,
Separated
and the pattern's
ribs.
hard to ignore. Experts point to overuse and constant play. Fans call it cursed. Either way, The guy keeps giving everything, only to be stopped by something completely out of his control, again and again. Penny Hardaway, drafted third, traded instantly, and then exploded in Orlando next to Shaq. By his second year, he was all NBA first team, and the Magic made the finals. They were the youngest team to do it at the time. Then came the meltdown, a blown 20-point lead in game 1, 4 missed free throws, a sweep, and a year later, Shaq bolts for Los Angeles. Penny's left, holding the dynasty that never was. In 1997, his left knee gave out, microfracture surgery. The next 5 seasons, never played more than 60 games. Then came Phoenix. The backcourt 2000 plan with Jason Kidd looked good, until Kidd broke his ankle, and Penny's knees did the rest. In 2000, he had surgery on the other knee too. After that, it was all downhill. He bounced from New York to Miami, never looking like the Penny who torched the league in the mid-90s. And to top it off, he nearly joined Duncan and Grant Hill in Orlando. But Hill's ankle exploded, Duncan stayed put, and Penny's body said no. He played in Jordan's era, lost his co-star, lost his knees, and lost the shot at rewriting the league. Every piece was there, except the time. Eddie Jones. Early on, he looked like a two-way star in the making. Then came the shoulder sprain in 1995, right after his rookie All-Star weekend. He missed 19 games, and the momentum just stopped.
Bro he got a sprain in the All-Star game, and it messed his career up. I want them to play harder in the All-Star game.
After his rookie All-Star weekend, he missed 19 games, and the momentum just stopped. By the time he was back, the Lakers had started leaning toward Kobe Bryant. In March 1999, Jones was traded to Charlotte, right before the Lakers exploded into a dynasty. He went from starting on a rising team to watching them win without him. Then it happened again. Miami, 2005. Jones was their top three-point guy, and then came the trade. A year later, the Heat won a ring. Playoff time, he could score, but the numbers dropped when it counted. Swept in 98, swept again in 2001, and when he got another shot with Memphis, same story, early exit. Even when his stats popped, his teams didn't. 14 points a night, all defense honors, a third team, all NBA nod, and no finals, no ring, no moment. It wasn't just the injuries or the trades, it was the way everything kept shifting just before he could be part of something big. Wrong time, wrong place, every time. Greg Oden, first overall pick in 2007, billed as the next dominant big man, with defensive instincts that had scouts buzzing. At Ohio State, he led a title run with a broken wrist on his shooting hand. That's how much potential he had. Portland took him over Kevin Durant, hoping for their next franchise anchor. Sound familiar? That was deja vu from when they picked Sam Bowie over Michael Jordan. Oden never got a rookie season. Microfracture surgery wiped out year 1. Then in his NBA debut, he sprained his foot and left in the first quarter. It never got better. A fractured patella ended one season. Then came another microfracture, this time on the other knee. He played only 82 games across 4 years. Never saw a playoff game.
Did y'all hear that? 82 games over a 82 games over a 4-year span, gang. He played a whole NBA season over 4 years. Insane.
The Blazers, they were cursed too. Brandon Roy's knees gave out, and the rebuild built around Roy, Oden, and Aldridge fell apart. Oden tried to come back with Miami in 2013. 23 games, barely 9 minutes a night. That was it. By 26, he was done. Drafted to be a cornerstone, he ended up a cautionary tale. His knees simply refused to let the story play out. Landry Shamet. From 2019 to 2022, his teams lost 4 straight second-round series, all in Game 7. In 2019, he hurt his ankle in the first quarter of Game 7 against Denver and didn't return. The Clippers lost by 15. A year later, same team, same round, same result. Another Game 7 loss to Denver. In 2021, he was with the Nets. They lost Game 7 of the second round to the Bucks in overtime. Then in 2022, he joined the Suns. They collapsed in Game 7 against Dallas in one of the worst home losses ever. 4 years, 4 teams, 4 Game 7 second round eliminations. That's not coincidence. Fans started calling it a curse. Deadspin said it was like a holiday. He didn't miss the playoffs. He just left early in identical fashion. Then finally, in 2025, the Knicks snapped it. They beat Boston in the second round and Landry was finally free. That streak might be over, but for 4 years, his postseason fate was written in stone. Right team, wrong time, and always stuck one win away from moving forward. Zion Williamson. He was the #1 pick in 2019, hyped as the franchise savior after Anthony Davis left. But before the season even started, he tore his meniscus, missed the first 44 games of his rookie year, and when he finally debuted, he was on strict burst limits that made it impossible to build rhythm. The season ended in the Orlando bubble. Zion out of shape, playing short shifts, and the Pelicans collapsed. In year 2, he stayed mostly healthy, averaging 27 points and shooting over 60%. Then he fractured his foot in the offseason, and the team didn't even tell the public right away. He missed the entire 2022 season. Weight rumors exploded. The Pelicans made the playoffs without him. In 2023, he started strong again, 26 points per game on 60% shooting. Then a hamstring tear shut him down in January. He never came back. Even as the team dropped from first in the West to losing the play-in, Zion said he was physically ready, but not mentally there. 5 years in, he's missed 59% of his games and never played in a single playoff matchup. Eric Dampier. In 2006, he started for the Mavericks as they jumped out to a 2-0 lead in the finals against Miami. Things looked set until the Heat won 4 straight and took the title. Dampier was on the floor as Dallas let it slip. 5 years later, he switched sides and signed with Miami. And in 2011, the same two teams met again in the finals.
And the opposite. hey, he was with Dallas. It was like, fuck. These niggas is good over here. They beat the hell out of it. Let me go over here and see if we can win again. And then he went and played against Dallas. When did these niggas get good? Oh, that's funny.
This time, Dampier was with the Heat, playing a reserve role. The result, another 4-2 series loss. This time with Dallas celebrating. He didn't play a single finals game that year, but he was on the roster, stuck watching the same script from the other bench. So let's recap. He lost to the same team in the finals twice, once as their teammate and once as their opponent. Never got a ring, never got revenge, just mirrored heartbreak from both angles. He might be the only player.
Do you want me to get more tree?
Sure.
I just not over there.
Yeah. We can smoke again tonight.
Player in league history to switch sides in a finals rivalry and still lose both times. Not quite cursed like the legends, but enough to make you feel like the basketball gods gave him a personal subplot with no happy ending. Markelle Fultz, drafted #1 in 2017 after a dominant season at Washington. He was supposed to be Philly's final piece. They even traded up to get him. But before the regular season began, his shot vanished. Literally, free throws turned into push shots. His form looked broken. He played just 14 games, missed nearly everything from deep, and was shut down with shoulder soreness. A year later, he was diagnosed with thoracic outlet syndrome, a rare nerve disorder that affects shoulder and arm control.
Man's gotta. That's something he can't even fix. That's a part of him. That's tough.
Explained the weird mechanics, but it didn't fix his future. The Sixers gave up, traded him to Orlando for a protected pick.
Blade just landed in Chicago back at her base or whatever, or by her base, or at the airport, and she tried to get to her base, and the Uber is like $100 to $200, like no range in between.
Tough.
In 2020, he started showing flashes again. Then, 8 games into the next season, he tore his ACL. Gone again. Meanwhile, the Sixers moved on with Tyrese Maxey, Ben Simmons, and James Harden. Jason Tatum, the guy they passed on, turned into a star. Fultz, on the other hand, has never played more than 72 games in a season. No playoff wins. 11 points a game for a guy who once looked like a franchise lock. Every comeback got derailed. Every step forward followed by another crash. Andrew Bynum. In 2008, he dislocated his kneecap midway through the season. That knocked him out of the finals, where the Lakers fell to Boston. The next year, he tore his MCL colliding with Kobe Bryant. He returned in time for the final, but was limited, braced up, and nowhere near full speed. The Lakers still won, but his impact was muted. Then in 2010, he tore his meniscus before the finals and played through it. His knee swelled badly after Game 6, and while he finished the series, it was clear he was barely moving. Another title, but another injury. A few weeks later, he had surgery.
Another title and another injury because they don't need Andrew Bynum. They got Kobe. What are you talking about?
That offseason vanished, and his
Pau
following
Gasol.
year was riddled with setbacks.
Don't
He
need it.
never fully recovered. By 2012, he was traded to the Sixers and
Goodbye.
never played a single game for them. His knees just gave up. Brief runs with the Cavaliers and Pacers led nowhere. He had 2 rings, but spent nearly every playoff run hurt or recovering. His injuries always hit right before the biggest games, and every time he played through them, things got worse. What started as franchise centerpiece turned into a cautionary tale. DeMarcus Cousins, drafted 5th in 2010,
Don't do Boogie like
he lit
that.
up box scores in
I mean, he did
Sacramento
get hurt,
while the
but-
franchise unraveled around him. 4-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA, 0 playoff games with the Kings, 6
Yeah,
head
with the
coaches in
Kings.
7 seasons,
Yeah.
and then they traded
He came over to Dub Nation and we almost got it, but it wasn't just him that got hurt, but it was other people too.
him while he was literally sitting at his All-Star press conference. The next year,
All-Star
they
press
drafted
conference.
De'Aaron Fox and started turning things around. Timing? Brutal. In New Orleans, he and Anthony Davis were torching defenses until January 2018. Then came the Achilles tear. Cousins was averaging 25, 13, and 5. The Pelicans made the playoffs without him. He didn't play a single postseason game. He signed with Golden State in 2018, hoping to rehab and win a ring, then tore his quad in the first round, came back in the finals, limping through Toronto's victory parade. A year later, he tore his ACL before playing a single game for the Lakers.
through
They won the
Toronto's
title
victory
without
parade
him.
is crazy.
No ring. He bounced around. Houston, Milwaukee, Denver. Good per minute numbers, but never stuck. By 32, he was out of the league. All-time talent, Hall of Fame level production, and yet no playoff wins, no ring. Just a timeline full of wreckage. Anderson Varejao. In 2015, he tore his Achilles midseason and missed the entire finals, where Cleveland lost in 6 games. A year later, he signed with the Warriors, just in time to be part of the most famous collapse in finals history. Golden State blew a 3-1 lead, and he was suddenly on the wrong end of back-to-back finals with 2 different teams. That's a first in league history.
It's okay. It's okay, Harrison. We thought we was going to be able to win it, but LeBron just had to do LeBron shit and just be on some bullshit.
No one else has lost to their former team in consecutive finals. But it wasn't just the finals. His career was a constant loop of mistimed injuries. From 2009 to 2014, he averaged around 40 missed games a year. In 2011, he tore a tendon in his foot. In 2013, a blood clot ended his season. Then came the Achilles in 2014. Every time the Cavs were building something, his body tapped out. Even when healthy, the timing refused to cooperate. He was on 2 finals rosters. He never won a ring, missed the peak moments in Cleveland, then watched Golden State fall apart from the bench. 2 years, 2 near misses, and one of the strangest finals resumes you'll ever find, Grant Hill. He came into the league like a future MVP, rookie all-star, led the league in all-star votes, and put up numbers that hadn't been seen since Larry Bird. From 1995 to 2000, he averaged 21 points, nearly 8 boards, and over 6 assists. But Detroit gave him nothing. No real help, no second-round trips, and constant heavy lifting. Then he signed with Orlando in 2000. That's when the curse hit. He re-aggravated an ankle injury, had surgery, and instead of healing, his career broke apart. From 2000 to 2004, he played just 47 games. He needed 8 surgeries. One led to a
8
staph
surgeries.
infection that nearly killed him. Meanwhile, Tracy McGrady turned into a superstar while Hill sat on the sideline. The two were supposed to rule the East. Hill never got the chance. Later, Phoenix gave him a second life. He became a respected role player into his late 30s. But the prime years were gone. Missed over 400 games. Never made it past the second round. No finals. No MVP. Just a Hall of Fame talent, dismantled by medicine, timing, and the cruelest kind of bad luck. Charles Barkley. In 1993, he led the Suns to 62 wins and pushed Phoenix to the finals for the first time in 17 years.
Good old
He dropped
Charles.
a triple-double in Game 4, but it didn't matter. Jordan's Bulls won in 6. Barkley later
It's
said he
MJ.
was so devastated he couldn't sleep. Then came the injuries. A torn quad in 1994, nagging problems in 95 and 96. Every year the Suns got close, but it always ended in 7-game heartbreak, usually against Houston. So in 1996, he was traded to the Rockets. Hakeem, Drexler, Barkley, a super team. In theory, in reality, it fizzled. One trip to the Western Conference Finals, no finals appearances. And in 1999, he tore his quad again, ending his career. 1 finals run, 0 rings. He finished with 11 All-Star selections, an MVP, and one of the most unique careers ever. Dominant stats, unforgettable presence, and always a little too late, a little too banged up, or facing Jordan. That's the Barkley curse. All the tools, none of the timing, and a legacy built just inches from the finish line. Yao Ming, drafted first overall in 2002, he became a global icon before he even played an NBA game. By his second season, he was a perennial all-star, putting up 25 points and nearly 10 rebounds a night during his prime. He had footwork, touch, range, all in a 7'6" frame, but that size became his undoing. In 2006, he broke his foot. In 2007, he fractured his leg. In 2008, another stress fracture took him out before the Olympics in Beijing. Then came 2009. He was dominating the Lakers in the second round until another fracture in his left foot ended his playoffs, and eventually his career. He missed the entire next season. In 2010, he tried to come back, but lasted just 5 games before suffering another fracture. That was it. He retired at age 30, having played only 486 games. He and Tracy McGrady never got through a full playoff series together. Houston moved on with Harden, but Yao never got that chance. His skill was never the problem. His body just wouldn't let the story finish. A legend whose ceiling was cut off by physics. Karl Malone, he's second all-time in scoring, a 2-time MVP, and made the playoffs in 19 straight seasons. But there's one number that always sticks: 0 championships. In 1997, Malone and the Utah Jazz reached the NBA Finals for the first time. Despite winning the MVP that season, Malone missed crucial free throws in Game 1, and the Jazz eventually lost in 6 games to Michael Jordan's Bulls. In 1998, they got a rematch, but the story stayed the same. In Game 6, with the Jazz up late, Jordan stole the ball from Malone in the post, hit the game winner, and sealed back-to-back heartbreaks. In 2004, at age 40, Malone took one last shot at a ring by joining the Los Angeles Lakers. Alongside Kobe Bryant, Shaq, and Gary Payton, they reached the finals. But Malone sprained his knee. He played limited minutes in Games 3 and 4, then missed Game 5 entirely. The Pistons closed the series, 4-1. 3 finals, 3 losses, critical missed shots, dynastic roadblocks, and untimely injuries. Malone delivered nightly for nearly 2 decades, just never in June. That's the curse. All-time production, forever.
That's Flights Month.
One step short. Bill Walton. The guy had the skill, the vision, and the basketball IQ to dominate for a decade, but his body just couldn't keep up. At UCLA, he was nearly unbeatable, winning 2 national championships and getting named the best college player 3 years straight. Then the pros came calling, and Portland picked him first overall.
That's how you know you got injured fast. If you talking about your college stats and this is an NBA video.
And right away, the injuries showed up like uninvited guests who refused to leave. In his first 4 seasons, Walton never got through more than 65 games, and he racked up a list of injuries like a grocery receipt. Broken wrists, ankle issues, foot fractures, even spinal problems. Still, in 1977, he pulled off one of the most impressive playoff runs ever, leading the Blazers to a title and snagging Finals MVP. But it didn't last. The next season, he won League MVP, only to go down again with another foot fracture. He left Portland after accusing the team of mishandling his injuries. Then came San Diego, where he missed over 80% of the games during a 5-year span. 30 surgeries later, he made a brief return with Boston, won 6th Man of the Year, and grabbed one last ring. Then his body gave out again. George Hill. His career always felt like it was about to take off, and then something knocked it off course. Injuries showed up at the worst times. Left groin soreness in 2019, shoulder sprains, hamstring tweaks, back spasms, none of them career-ending, but all just enough to derail momentum. That playoff push with Milwaukee in 2019 slowed down. That finals run with Cleveland in 2018, he missed early games and barely contributed in the last ones, all while dealing with back pain. The other pattern? Constant trades. San Antonio, Indiana, Utah, Sacramento, Cleveland, Milwaukee, Oklahoma City, Philadelphia, Milwaukee again, and Indiana again. Every time he started building rhythm, another team shuffled him out. Just when things looked good, he got moved, like when the Pacers broke up that contending squad after 2014, or when Milwaukee traded him after his injury recovery. Then there's the role fluctuation. One night, he's a starting point guard. Next week, he's barely seeing the court. No real villain here, just rough timing. A few injuries, a few missed moments, some poor luck. It's not a curse in the dramatic sense. But man, George Hill always seemed one healthy stretch away from something bigger. Dominique Wilkins. The man came into the league on fire, traded to Atlanta before even playing a game, and then he just started dropping buckets like it was his job. Because it was. From the mid-'80s
Dominique was
to early
nice.
'90s, he averaged over 28 points a game,
What happened
even
to
leading
Nick,
the
though? I'm
league
really
in scoring
interested to
1
hear
year.
this.
But despite 9 All-Star selections and all those All-NBA nods, he lived in the shadows of Jordan, Bird, and Magic. No matter how dominant he was, he couldn't break through that top tier in MVP voting. His Hawks teams, always solid, never spectacular. They made the playoffs 9 times, but couldn't break into the conference finals. They kept running into the Celtics or Pistons, teams that had the defense and the luck to edge them out. That Game 7 in 1988 against Boston, he scored 47 and lost.
47.
That stung. Then in '92, his Achilles popped while he was still dropping over 28 a game. He came back and put up nearly 30 a night again, which is unreal, but the bounce wasn't the same. Then in 1994, Atlanta had the best record in the East and traded him. Just like that, his title window slammed shut. Wesley Matthews. Back in 2015, Portland looked dangerous. They were 30-11, rolling through the West, and Matthews was right in the middle of it, starting every night, locking up on defense,
remember Wesley
and hitting
Matthews.
threes like it was clockwork. Then came March 5th, one bad step, and his left Achilles snapped. It ended a 250-game streak and cut Portland's legs out from under them. That season crashed fast, and so did his career trajectory. After that, it was injury whack-a-mole. Calf strain here, toe sprain there, hips, hamstrings, the whole lower body turned into a ticking time bomb. It felt like every time he got his footing, something yanked it out again. Then came the bouncing. Mavericks, to Knicks, to Pacers, to Bucks, to Lakers, to Bucks again, then Atlanta. No rhythm, no continuity, just endless new zip codes. Before the Achilles tear, he was a double-digit playoff scorer. After, reduced minutes, smaller roles, scattered production. He kept grinding, never stopped hustling, but his game shrank with every step. It's not just one injury that wrecked it, it's the constant disruption. Right place, wrong time, over and over. If there's a curse, it's that Matthews never had the clean runway to show how high he really could have flown. James Harden. You don't put up 30-point seasons like it's nothing, win an MVP, and carry teams, night after night, without being elite. But for all his regular season dominance, the playoffs have been a string of heartbreaks, collapses, and timing disasters. Back in 2012, he helped Oklahoma City reach the finals, then got
A lot
traded
of
to
that's
Houston
been on
before
Harden
the
too,
team
though.
could grow into its potential. With the Rockets, he became unstoppable, led the league in scoring, broke efficiency records, and dragged that franchise into title conversation. Then came the falls. In 2015, 13 turnovers against Golden State in the conference finals. In 2017, a disappearing act against San Antonio, with Kawhi sitting out. 2018, that was the shot, up 3-2 against the Durant Warriors. Then Chris Paul's hamstring gave out, and Houston missed 27 straight threes in Game 7. You can't script it worse. Then he forced out of Houston, joined Brooklyn's Super Trio, and tore his hamstring 43 seconds into Game 1. He limped through the series,
43
and the
seconds.
Nets went down in overtime. 2 trades later, he landed in Philly, blew another lead against Boston, then ended up in Los Angeles, where the Clippers lost again. Always one step from glory, then something breaks. Reggie Miller. The guy made his name torching the Knicks in the mid-'90s, dropping 8 points in 9 seconds and flashing that iconic choke
8
sign at the
points
Garden
in
like he
9
owned the
seconds.
place. And Knicks fans, they've never let it go. Even today, you'll see that gesture pop up every time New York blows a lead.
What the
TikTok,
hell?
Facebook, memes, it's all part of the lore now. But the irony, for all of Miller's swagger, he never made it to the NBA Finals. The Pacers had their shots. In 1994, they were up 3-2 on the Knicks in the East Final. Game 7, chance to go through, and Miller airballed it. Same story in 1998, 1999, 2000, and again in 2004.
Alright, I ain't gonna lie, Reggie. All those years you did that same shit, and you had one iconic moment, but nigga, you lost to the Knicks all them times. They own you. You can't say. I remember I saw a clip say that he owned them. Nigga. How do you own them? You lost to them consecutive times. Oh my God.
Final. Game 7, chance to go through, and Miller airballed it. Same story in 1998, 1999, 2000, and again in 2004.
That's
Chicago,
4 times.
New York, Los Angeles, Detroit, they all slammed the door on Indiana, and each time, the Clutch King walked off empty. The
Never mind, it wasn't the same team ties, but it was multiple teams.
legend stuck, not because he failed alone,
In Game
but
7.
because he talked big and never brought home a title. The choke sign, it's famous now, but fans flipped it on him. That's what makes the curse different. It's about reputation. No blown knee, no trade drama, just a career full of bold moments and brutal timing. Gordon Hayward. In Utah, he looked like the perfect modern wing. 20-plus points a night, solid defense, smart
Hayward
playmaking,
was tough.
and finally made the All-Star team in 2017. Then he took that big leap, signed with Boston, and 5 minutes into his first game, his ankle folds the wrong way, and his tibia breaks. The replay was so bad, the network stopped showing it. That injury didn't just end his season. It wrecked the entire next chapter of his career. He came back the next year, but he wasn't the same. No burst, shaky confidence, lost in the rotation behind younger stars like Tatum and Brown. Then in 2020, just as he looked like himself again, he rolled his ankle in the first playoff game and spent a month out. By the time he returned, Boston was in the Eastern Finals, and he wasn't really a factor. Next stop, Charlotte. Big contract, new start, same story. Every year brought another setback. Foot, ankle, shoulder, you name it. Never healthy for more than 50 games. And every time his teams were ready to make a push, he was in street clothes. That's not just bad luck. That's a career haunted by brutal timing and injuries that never let go. Jay Crowder, drafted by Cleveland, traded before playing a game. In Dallas, he barely cracked the rotation, then got shipped out in a failed Rajon Rondo deal. He finally broke out in Boston, locking up on defense, hitting threes, doing the dirty work, and still, his name was always swirling in trade rumors. In 2017, he got dealt in the Kyrie trade, landing on a Cleveland team that didn't need his skill set. That same Celtics team, they nearly beat LeBron's Cavs without him. Cleveland didn't fit. He was misused, benched, inefficient, traded again to Utah, solid minutes, but no title shot there. Finally, in 2020, Miami made a run. Crowder started every game and helped push them to the finals. Then injuries hit and the Lakers rolled through. The next year, Phoenix, another finals run, another loss, this time to Milwaukee, with Giannis going nuclear. In 2022, he helped Phoenix win 64 games, then got benched over contract drama, sat out the season, traded to Milwaukee. The Bucks collapsed in round one, and Crowder played 18 minutes total. That's the curse. Never injured. Always.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, those Bucks jerseys are nice. These purple ones are tough. With the Nike, that's hard.
Involved, and somehow always just one stop short of the ring. If you enjoyed this, I'm gonna be posting a lot here.
W video, man. Shout out to my man.